Sarah Palin decided to weigh in on the president's response to Egypt in an interview with the Christian Broadcasting Network that airs tonight. And she's stealing a page from Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign book.
And this is that 3 a.m. White House phone call, and it seems for many of us trying to get that information from our leader in the White House, it seems that that call went right to the answering machine.
So what do you think about that comment? Our Washington insiders are here to weigh in now. Former presidential writer for George W. Bush, Ned Ryan, and former deputy finance director for the Democratic National Committee, David Mercer. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Gretchen.
Thanks for getting up so early. Post-Super Bowl haze is probably on your mind a little bit. Ned, let me start with you, because you were in the business of writing speeches and advising presidential candidates and presidents. Would you have advised Sarah Palin to delve into the political side of the Egypt crisis?
You know, one of the things that I would have done with Sarah is, I think one of the things that she's not displaying is a deep grasp of policy. I think that it was a good soundbite, but there was no real substance to it. And I think when I talk with people around the country, with American majority, then we train Tea Party leaders, they like her. They like Sarah Palin. But they're starting to ask, is she going to show any depth and substance to any of her policy stances? And I think part of what she did the other night was just a cheap political swipe. And she could have shown more depth to some policy stances.
Mm-hmm. David, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do very much agree with it. Look, that soundbite is like any other commercial break that has a, good 30-second bite, but, offers little to the lessons and the unfolding drama that's going on before us, or that we might even watch on TV. And, again, this is more about Sarah Palin than it is about the freedoms being sought in Egypt, in the realization of democracy, and that will coming to be manifested, going forward through a peaceful transition to a new governance in Egypt. And she did nothing to contribute to that dialogue.
Yeah, it's interesting because most politicians decided to stay out of it. I think Mike Huckabee also weighed in, Sarah Palin, but Republicans, for the most part, have not said a lot. I want to get your thoughts as well on Sarah Palin and her thoughts on what's going to happen down the road for the mainstream media. Listen to this.
I think much of the mainstream media is already becoming so irrelevant. We're so far from being able to trust what so many of the mainstream media personalities, characters feed the American public that it scares me for our country.
Ned?
I think that she does make some good points. They are becoming more irrelevant, but there still is some relevance. I think one of the reasons that Sarah has a little trouble maybe with the mainstream media is, again, this lack of depth and breadth of knowledge on policy issues. And I think if she's going to run for president, here's the thing that I would say. She's a fantastic cheerleader for the movement. But if you're going to move from cheerleader to quarterback, from personality to president, she's going to really have to put on display some depth of knowledge of these issues. Mm-hmm. And if she can do that, I think that might help her a little bit with the mainstream media. Have they always been fair to her? Absolutely not.
Right.
Will they give her a bit more credibility? Yes.
David, any way to get back in good with the mainstream media, or is Sarah Palin right that they're kind of a dying breed?
They are not a dying breed, and she's got to realize that, and you can just see it in her still raising suppositions about the Muslim Brotherhood, when every report coming out from all the stakeholders in Egypt looking for, a fair transition and participation in the democracy that's unfolding, that, in fact, she's still raising this specter of fear of the Muslim Brotherhood, when all reports are in unison and consensus that the Muslim Brotherhood is not the threat here.
Oh, I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't know if we can go down that path, because I don't know if everyone agrees with the Muslim Brotherhood not being a threat to the United States. Well, but unfortunately, got to wrap it up there.
Sure.
Appreciate your time, guys, this morning. Thanks very much.
Pleasure being with you.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Coming up next, a suspected murderer claims